Hey everybody, this is an episode of TJ's Garage. Today we are going to go over the factory backrest for the Indian Roadmaster. This is the bracket. It comes separate from the backrest. I just wanted you guys to see how this goes on because a lot of people might have questions, and there's a couple other things I need to show you with this, where it goes and how it mounts. First of all, you got to take the seat off, and it's not that hard. The hardest part of taking this seat off is reaching this mounting bolt in the back, okay, which goes here, and it's really hard to get to. Depends on what kind of tools you use. What I did was I used a little hex head bit that goes into the screw, and then I turned with a wrench, and I was able to get in this portion of the seat because it's very tight. Okay, so in the meantime, while I have this off, I actually went online and bought the screw that you can put on by hand. It's knurled, so you can turn it by hand, so you don't need any tools. So you can basically reach in behind the seat, take the seat mount bolt off, and you're done, instead of having to deal with this or whatever other ideas you guys had to take these off. Okay, so this is what you have, this bolt here. You can go online and get a knurled one that you put on with your fingers. So in putting this mount on, you got to remove the seat, which is very simple. Okay, after taking that bolt out in the back here, there's two bolts in the side, on each side of the seat, here and here. Okay, which if you go back and look at the bike, you have to take your side covers off. And it's basically the large hex head bolt, which goes here. And if you hold the camera right there for a minute, I will show you what these two bolts look like. They're right here. So this is what you're looking for. Two of these. Okay? You're going to remove those. Then as you lift the seat up, you're going to have the main plug back here. Okay? It's like a 7 or 8 pin. And if you look on the seat here, there it is. And it mounts basically underneath your tour pack and is zip tied. Now you want to zip tie it up somewhere underneath your tour pack because you don't want this thing flopping around and scratching up your paint job. Okay? Now if you look here, you got another plug right here. These are self-explanatory. Okay? You can't interchange them. And these are located, if you look actually on the bike, right here. They're not interchangeable, okay? Now, if you look here, I have these wires. Here's the plugs you just looked at, right here. These three plugs. Not this one. Sorry, these two. These two plugs are what you just looked at on the seat. This is your third plug that was on the seat. Now, this is actually a pigtail that I added to it for the lights back here on your saddlebags. Okay, these are brake lights and turn lights from Custom Dynamics. They're 180 bucks. They come with the pigtail. It's plug and play. It's simple. You do not need a dealer to install these. Just remember, when you line them up, once you stick them on, they're on for good. So make sure the bags are closed when you mount them to the bags. If not, you'll be slamming the bag and it's going to knock the light off. So make sure the bags are closed. Give it a little gap. Eyeball them so they're perfectly centered and spaced on the back of your bags. Because if you look back here, I have a nice gap here. So when I close the bag, it's not hitting the lights. Okay? And once they're on, they're on. Clean your bag real good before you stick them on because you're not getting them off. Then you run your wires up through the inside of the bag, right back here. They come with some sticky pyramid type mounts that you will zip tie, and you run your wires right here. Here's your two wires. Here's your pigtail. It plugs right into the existing harness. It's plug and play. It's very simple. You don't need any resistors, any extra parts, nothing. Okay, now back to the backrest. If you look, once you move your harness, your main harness back, you'll see 3 gold screws. or screw mounts. 1, 2, 3. Okay? The fourth one is actually here. There's a factory mount bolt already there that you're going to take out from this portion, this electronic portion, which is basically your module. You take one of the mounting screws out. Don't remove the module. And it says here, failure to disconnect negative battery cable will damage this. Okay, but we're not doing anything electronic. We're just putting a mount on. You're just removing one of the bolts. You're not removing the module. So as you look at this side is higher than this side. So this mounts on top of that module. Don't remove the module. It takes up the space with the bracket. Okay? So if you look here, here's your mounting bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're done. You're putting those screws in. I'm sure there's a torque to it, but I use my calibrated elbow. You put those 4 screws in, you tighten them up, you plug your seat. As you took it off, you put it back on. You got your plug here, here, okay, this one, and this one. These are your four plugs that you're going to remove. And then your mounting bolts. Very simple. One here, one here. Put your side panels on, you're done. One last thing you guys need to think about so you don't screw up your side panels. Put a dab of grease in each grommet. This way when you're pulling your side panels off, you don't rip the nipple off. Because sometimes when these grommets get dry, you'll be pulling and you'll crack that nipple on the side of your side panels. And once you do that, you're going to have to buy a new side panel. So mine are all greased. Okay, you can see I put a little spot of grease on them. They come off and go back on. So basically this video was about putting on the factory backrest. And it is a factory one. You can get aftermarket through Grasshopper, but I went with the original because I like the stitching. Okay, the mount is separate from the backrest, but I went on eBay and there's a few other people out there selling. I don't feel like spending $600 on a backrest. I know that sounds kind of cheap, but it doesn't make any sense. It's a backrest. Okay, so I went on eBay, found one cheaper. Guy had the mount with it. He didn't have the screws, but I was able to go to Home Depot and get the screws. Okay, so I just matched up. This is the factory screw that came out of the module. Okay, this is going back in, and I bought a few extra from Home Depot, matched up the thread. It is metric, and I'm able to put this backrest on. Okay, so if you have any questions, just message me. Right now I'm in Florida in this little shed. I'm heading back up north soon. I'm going to do a video soon on this bike right here. This is a 2023. You can go around the front and take a little side shot of this. This is the 2023 Roadmaster. It's the brown. I'm not really sure what they call it. It might be a bronze brown. But this is basically the same color as the Jack Daniels brown. So I'm going to bring them out in the sun so you guys can see what the tint looks like against the flat black. This is my friend's bike. He just bought it. This is my 2021. There's a couple little differences, not much. But we'll go through that on the next video. And we'll do it out in the sun so you can get an idea of what this brown looks like in the daylight. Okay? And that's about it for now. Thanks.